Hey everyone, I'm Rick Beato, and today's Everything Music. It's What Makes This Song Great, episode 104. The band is Pink Floyd, and the song is... You know what it is. Coming up next. Comfortably Numb was on Pink Floyd's album entitled The Wall, which was released on November 30th, 1979, when I was in 12th grade, senior in high school. And the single, Comfortably Numb, actually was released in June of 1980, right when I graduated from high school. So I have incredible memories of this being on the radio. This is really kind of an anthem of me, you know, before I went to college, just graduating from high school. I mean, it's a very, very vivid memory when it was on the radio, and it means a lot to me, this song. I think it's one of the most beautiful songs ever. Guitar solos, both of them, are incredible. And one of the things about this song is that it has the perfect blend of Roger Waters and David Gilmour. All the dark sections that are in B minor, the verse part is Roger Waters. He wrote the lyrics to the song. David Gilmour sings the chorus when it goes to D major. It also has these two guitar solos. The first one that I really love, everybody loves the second solo. I love the first solo. I love both solos, but the first solo is so anthemic. So he's got a solo in D major and in the relative minor, B minor. But the darkness of the verse and the kind of heavenly anthemic quality of the chorus really makes this song such a moving piece of music that I still feel the same way when I listen to it. I always do a prep evening before I make it what makes a song great, and I look for things out there that I may not have found. I look at interviews from people. I watched many interviews of Roger Waters and of David Gilmour, anything where they're talking about the song. I came across some really interesting things. One of the things I came across was the original demo that David Gilmour did, where he has no lyrics, basically, of the chorus melody that he had done for a solo record and had abandoned. He had not finished it. And they played it for the producer, Bob Ezrin, who said, yeah, let's work on this. And the demo sounds like this. Now that demo is played, Gilmour explains on this interview, you can find it on YouTube, he plays it on a high-string guitar. He had asked somebody what a high-string guitar was. He goes into the story about one of his friend's bands that was working with a producer, and they used a high-string guitar in combination with a just regular six-string acoustic. And so this drummer was explaining it to him, but he didn't even know what it was. So he essentially created a Nashville-tuned guitar, which means that these strings are all up the octave, except this particular one, the low E is up 2 octaves, the way that David Gilmour strung it. That's where you get this sound of the demo you just heard. Really beautiful. On the D, normally you wouldn't leave that low string open, but that note, that E becomes the add 9. And David Gilmour actually in this interview explains that it's the 9th, and that's why it sounds so good. And he said he tried to keep as many open strings as he could, but then it just has a beautiful, beautiful sound. So when they heard that, I think that they knew, wow, we got something here. Then Roger Waters in an interview explains that they had a disagreement, he and David Gilmour. I'm telling you all these things before we even listen to the song, but about the basic rhythm tracks. They'd cut the rhythm tracks one day, and they all seemed to be happy about it. But the next day, David Gilmour came back in, and they recut the rhythm tracks. When I say rhythm tracks, I mean like guitar, bass, and drums, because he wasn't quite happy with the timing in some spots. So what they ended up doing is they actually edited together different sections, like maybe one verse of Roger Waters, the chorus part of David Gilmour, and and they came up with a basic bed tracks, as we call them, of the song as we know it that appears. And now Roger Waters says that they couldn't even tell where these edits were afterwards. So once the song gets done, Roger Waters explains that they sent the tapes, not with Bob Ezrin, not with Gilmour, not with Roger Waters, none of the Pink Floyd guys got sent to New York, where Michael Kamen, the late great arranger and orchestrator, put in all the incredible orchestration himself without the band being there, which I'll solo and play, which really makes the song, it takes it to a different place. So, with that being said, let's check out the intro part of the song. B minor. And then slide guitar.
Is there anybody in there?
A.
Just not if you can hear me.
G. E minor.
Is there anyone?
B minor. Really establishing the darkness of that key. First harmony. Come on. The echo guitar.
Get you on your feet again.
Now, one interesting thing about this is that there are three phrases before it goes to the chorus, which is not, typically you'll either have 2 or 4. So it's actually a 3-phrase verse, and then it hits the chorus when it goes to the relative major, D major. One of the things about this, though, that really makes the track is Michael Kamen's arrangement, his orchestration that's hidden behind these beautiful layers of echoing guitars and keyboards is this. Listen to this. You can hear that slide guitars added to this, but this is the orchestra along with those effect instruments. You hear the echoey guitar, but you hear the brass. You hear the da, that ninth on that chord. And then da da da. Another thing that makes this third phrase of the first verse unique and beautiful is this. Right here. So there's two things going on right there. You hear that da-da. So on the B minor, you're hearing that the second resolved back to the root, so it's a sus2, and then you hear da-da. The seventh resolved down to the fifth, right? But the second and flat third are next to each other, so it creates that dissonance on the downbeat, and it gives a haunting quality. I love those voicings. That's what it would be on the guitar, but that's actually done in the orchestration, and I think it makes the voice, Roger Waters, the mood of what he's saying even more intense because of that dissonance that resolves right there. Let's check out the solo vocal right there.
Relax. Need some information first. Just the basic facts. Can you show me where?
And then acoustic guitar.
There is no pain.
That acoustic, when you listen to it, it sounds like the high string acoustic, right? Because you can hear those high strings in the top of the strum. Listen on the downbeat of the chorus. Listen. Definitely. So he's playing that high-strung acoustic. But really, the star of this, in addition to that, is the orchestration. Again, listen. So the strings at the beginning of the chorus start with this figure. That's a D add 9 chord, starting A, F sharp, E, D. This is what creates the movement under those long held chords, and you got the high strung guitar strumming away, but that creates the harmonic movement. Now on the A chord, it's going. So you have that sus4 to 3 there. So it's A, E, D, C sharp. That D to C sharp adds that dissonance that really draws your ear in and gives it that emotional vibe. So throughout this chorus, you're going to hearing these add 9s to these kind of what I call add 4s, right? So then it goes down to C. Same pattern. It's really, really beautiful. Let's listen to it in the mix here.
There is no pain you are receiving. A distant ship smoke on the horizon. You are only coming through in waves.
Another thing is the upbeat accents that happen that help move along the chord progression. Bum. Check it out. Listen.
There is no pain you are receiving.
You hear that sus in there?
A distant ship smoke on the
Here's the accent. 2, 3. It's just really in the bass there, but it makes it. Again, bass does an upbeat accent. Beautiful. And then they bring in the harmony there on that third phrase, and it's beautiful. One thing that I will always say about David Gilmour is he is the most underrated singer. Absolutely a phenomenal singer. When he joined Pink Floyd, I don't really think that he considered himself a singer. I think it took him a while for him to get used to the fact that, yeah, he's a great lead singer. And his voice, I can't imagine anyone else's voice on here, especially up in that register. It just makes the chorus explode. When it gets to that third phrase, though, just beautiful. Double tracked. And then there's the harmony. When I was a child, I had a fever. My hands felt like two balloons. Once again, let's listen to what the orchestra's doing during this part in the chorus. Listen.
My hands felt just like two balloons.
Beautiful.
Now I've got that feeling once again. I can't explain, you will not understand.
Okay.
This is not
All those upbeat accents in the vocals to really make it move along, because it's really a ballad in a way, or mid-tempo song.
Now I've got that feeling once again. I can't explain, you will not understand. This is not how I am.
Harmony's amazing, and then that climbing line that here, da da da, right? Listen to that. With that upbeat kick, da da da, bum bum. Let's listen to it with the whole band playing. You notice there's no kick drum there, which is really... So the kick's going bum, ta, bum, bum. Nothing with it. There's really no upbeat kicks along with Roger Waters' bass lines that happen there in that whole chorus. Listen.
Comfortable
As a matter of fact, I think that that's what makes it not sound clunky, right? You don't even notice it. It's such a powerful move in the bass. Dum bum bum, walking up. I love the fill that happens right before the high point in the chorus. Check this out. He's going da-do-doom, crash, da-boom, then a flam on the two times. Listen again. Crash. And then there's no kick that goes with that bass right there. Solo is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, guitar solos ever, followed by the one at the end of the song that most people think is the greatest guitar solo. So let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, so one of the things that he starts off with is the rake. He rakes across the muted strings, which is very much like a Jimi Hendrix kind of thing, or Stevie Ray Vaughan, but he rakes right into the third of the D major chord. Right? D major. And then he goes to the sus4. Which makes it so emotional when you go to the sus4 to the third again. Then he bends into the fifth of the A chord, and then it comes down this A sus, right? sus4, then A major triad, and then arrives back on the D, the note D, the tonic. So it's a very powerful end of the phrase. Then he goes back into that. That is just so emotional, so beautiful. Love this. Okay, that's really beautiful. He bends into that sus4 again. Then bends up into the fifth of the A. So I love this sound he's playing on A. And that's really... up to the fifth of the C chord, and then uses that Lydian, the sharp4, and then 6 to 5 on G, and then there's your major 7th on the G chord, and then he bends in from the sharp4 to the 5, and then this Lydian. I love that. Then G sus to G, and then he goes to the, and he does the on the C, goes back to that sharp4. So he's constantly going sus4s on the D major, sus4 on the A major, sharp 11 on the C major, major 7th on the G major, all those upper extensions, or what I call the haunting tones, right? Those notes give it so much emotion. If he was just playing roots or playing the pentatonic scale, it wouldn't be nearly as interesting as these melodic modal lines. The second verse enters, believe it or not, at 2 minutes and 49 seconds or so. Now, that's like the length of a pop song of today. What's really weird about the song, if you think of it, so the first verse is 3 phrases, then you have the chorus, which is really divided into multiple sections, and then you have a guitar solo. after the first chorus. Okay, then we're to the second verse. So it's very, very odd form. Let's check out the second verse. Check out what's going on here in the orchestration. You have all these... You have that beautiful background vocal, but I can hear, it sounds like a harpsichord, but I think it's the high-strung guitar that's going on in there that's kind of picking through the chords. Let's listen to the mix again.
Just a little pinprick. No more. But you make me a little sick.
That swell, the woodwinds there. Let's go to the, check out the orchestration again right there. Listen. Once again, you have that ninth in there. It's just beautiful. And then da da da, and you're hearing that sharp 4 and 5th on the G major chord, that Lydian note. They're constantly coming back to that. Listen to that. Then A. Now here's the sharp 4. Listen. Beautiful.
It's time to go.
Okay, so only 2 phrases happen on the second verse, right? And you hear the swell that leads you into the chorus. Listen.
That'll keep you going through the show.
You hear that da-da-da. That dissonance there of that sharp 4. Beautiful.
That'll keep you going through the show.
And then
It's time to go.
Now listen to the downbeat again.
That'll keep you going through the show.
So the swell happens, and then
It's time to go.
and you hear that guitar again. The guitar just announces "bring" on the downbeat of the chorus. I just love that. And then voice switching. It's just a straight beat with a ride cymbal. Everything is so simple. All the movement is going on in the strings, but beautiful vocals. Oh, listen to the vocals there. I mean, the harmonies are amazing.
Was a child, I caught a fleeting glimpse.
Beautiful. And the strings. Oh, brass. Beautiful. High strings. Then, oh, and the do boom. Love the simple tom fill right there. Listen, and then another thing after that drum fill. I love it. It's a very majestic drum part. Listen. I love it. He goes dum, It's so rock, right? It's so heavy. It's so simple. It's just caveman drumming right there. Listen. Boom, boom. And then no upbeat accent with the bass is beautiful. He just never goes there. And that's got to be a conscious decision that they're all playing that. I wonder if that's one of the things that the argument was between Roger Waters and David Gilmour, is maybe the kick drum was hitting on those and one of them didn't like it. Actually, it was like, nah, it doesn't feel right. It makes it too clunky. Listen, again. Boom. Boom, boom.
Have become comfortably numb.
And then extends, right? Build. Boom, boom, boom. Oh. Okay. The out chorus solo, what do you say about that, right? I mean, it's just absolute pure genius. Here we go. I love the squeal there. Tons of reverb. Oh. I love it. Then. Now, I love how he bends from the ninth. That's like a big thing. He's using that B minor pentatonic, the blues scale, but he likes to use that ninth. Gets kind of that Dorian sound in it. Half step bends. Triplets, awesome. I'm not gonna play over this and make it sound worse. I'm gonna let David Gilmour do the talking here because it's amazing. Oh! And the how the drums follow right along with a triplet lick too. Right here. Awesome. Then. It actually sounds like a China cymbal to me. I don't know if he's if that's what he's playing there, but the way this crashes. Crashes on 2 and 4. And then, okay, once again here we have that. When I heard David Gilmour play that was like a big influence in my playing. That the use of that note and bending the second into the minor third. And we also have the caveman fill that happens right before that high part in the guitar. Listen. You cannot go wrong with the caveman. Da, 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 boom. Especially at these tempos, it makes it so heavy, so dark. And then... all the cymbal crashes. Oh, so good. The fade. That's why we're still listening to this song 41 years later. Richard Wright, he passed away in 2008, the keyboardist, and Nick Mason is just a great drummer. The drums on this are incredibly well played. But the juxtaposition of those two, of David Gilmour and Roger Waters, just that this song really showcases what they do best. The moody vocals of Roger Waters, a great lyricist, the incredible lead singing, the high singing of David Gilmour, once again, a really underrated singer, and then these two incredible guitar solos. And the addition of Michael Kamen, the arranger, who also died suddenly back in, I believe, 2003 or so. A really young guy. He was 31 years old when he did the orchestration to this. And the song would not be what it is without his contribution as well. Bob Ezrin, the producer, this is just an absolute brilliant record. And so this, What Makes a Song Great series would not be complete without Pink Floyd. And I'm still have the same feeling when I hear this song as I did when I was a senior in high school.